Now, breaking news: Kenya government threatens the Nigerian government with ICC action over abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. ICC is the International Criminal Court. Yes, this issue has actually been lingering for a very long time, and the reality is that in as much as this information has not been fully verified, but I can tell you via 70% that Kenya government are dragging the Zoological Republic of Nigeria to the International Criminal Court in Hague over the part they played in the abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We all know how the case is going. We all know the part that the Kenya government played, and this whole thing has affected the Kenyan government because, honestly speaking, you cannot eat your cake and have it. And how did it affect them? Now, international communities and international investors are scared of investing with Kenya because most of them, due to the awareness that this whole Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's shenanigan cost, it has actually dragged Kenya into the international phase. They now see Kenya as an unsafe country, a country that is not safe for investors and business. Now let us go fully into the news in detail before we drop the video of the Kenya president Ruto. Now, the news: the Kenyan government has officially filed a lawsuit against the Nigerian Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom. Yes, demanding the immediate return of Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya. Yes, they are demanding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be returned back to Kenya. Now, we continue. Authorities in Nairobi have condemned what they describe as an unlawful and hostile operation in which the Nigerian agents allegedly infiltrated Kenya and forcefully abducted Kanu without the knowledge or consent of the Kenya government. This is actually a big lie. Let's be realistic about that. You can't tell me that the Nigerian government invaded your country, a country as big as Kenya. Not just that, a country, at least I know Kenya has a little bit of international standard when it comes to security. Now, they invaded your country without your knowledge, abducted someone and left your country, and yet you've not said anything for over 5 years. You never condemned this at the initial process. When this whole thing started, they didn't deny it. That was when they could have, brought out the whole truth to limelight. Instead, they were proud. They felt Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was just anybody, a common person, just the same way, they abduct innocent people. You see countries working together because of the little resources that you are gaining from this country. Do not forget that this is your one and only YouTube channel where you get more information as it is hot. Please make sure you're sharing this video. If you are just joining us, make sure you're sharing. Let Biafrans know what is happening. Now let us continue with this lie from the Kenya government, because for me this is lie. They should do the needful. They should do the right thing. You can never eat your cake and have it. We continue. In their words, this act is not only a blatant violation of the international law, but a direct attack on our sovereignty. It is an act of aggression that could be interpreted as a declaration of war. You know what that means? A Kenya government spokesperson stated. We continue. Finally, Kenya further warned the failure to return Nnamdi Kanu immediately will result in Nigeria facing prosecution at the International Criminal Court (ICC). We are rapidly losing international respect and facing global humiliation due to Nigeria's reckless and illegal action. We will not stand by and watch our national integrity being trampled upon. The Kenya spokesperson, the government spokesperson, stated further. Now, like I said, and I clarified earlier, the Kenya government are in for a total disaster. Because, when you commit a crime, an international crime, no matter how you try to hide it, it will definitely explode one day. Especially if the person in question is an innocent person. In the case of Nnamdi Kanu. And also, if the person in question is internationally recognized, that is, if the person in question is a popular figure. We all know the popularity that Nnamdi Kanu has gathered. Not just that. Let me also clarify to you that Nnamdi Kanu even became more popular during this whole trial, during this whole period that he was in DSS custody, during this whole period that he was abducted, during this whole period that the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom failed to do the needful by law. So that international recognition has actually, skyrocketed to so many countries, to the fact that those who are now investors are scared of having any business to do with Kenya. Now, let me make you understand. You will not want to do a business with a country or in a country where you're not sure of your safety. That is one thing. A country that cannot protect you. You wouldn't want to put your money or investment in that particular country. That is suicide mission. Is a clear suicide mission. And this is exactly what is happening in the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Like I said earlier, you cannot eat your cake and have it. And that is why, as I'm talking to you currently, the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria, are also in big trouble over the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. We have seen what the world is saying concerning the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. We have seen that the zoo is now recognized as a country that rule of law does not exist. Now we are seeing what is happening in the issue of VDM, who is also being held against his own will in this same country that a lot of people have been talking about. On that note, Kenya is already dragging the zoo as it stands. Kenya is already dragging the zoo to ICC, and the zoo cannot survive this. But meanwhile, I want to end this particular news with a very important video of the president of Kenya handling this whole issue. Enjoy, and make sure you're sharing this video to as many groups and platforms as possible.
Your Excellency, President of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Ambassador Philemon Yang, United Nations Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I congratulate you, Ambassador Philemon Yang, on your well-deserved election as President of this session of the General Assembly. Mr. President, I welcome the choice of your theme, Unity in Diversity for the Advancement of Peace, Sustainable Development, and Human Dignity for Everyone, Everywhere, which resonates with the core principles of the 2030 Agenda and aligns closely with the core values and mission of the United Nations. Excellencies, the world is at a challenging moment and in a most precarious international security dispensation. The promise of the United Nations Charter to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war has been profoundly shaken. From land to sea and from air to the outer space, global peace, security, and stability are increasingly under threat. Conflicts and tensions pervade every frontier, undermining the collective security that international cooperation seeks to uphold. Cases of polarizing narratives, factionalism, social upheavals, organized crime, war, and stockpiling of weapons of mass destruction are at an all-time high. Great power rivalry is intensifying, provoking regional competition and inducing geopolitical and geoeconomic realignments and tensions. The subtle nuances of them versus us has produced negative coalitions, wars, tensions, as well as eroded trust and confidence in global multilateral system. From Gaza to Darfur, Ukraine, Yemen, Eastern DRC, the Sudan, the Sahel, and the criminality in Haiti, conflict is inflicting a trail of destruction of life and livelihoods in historic proportions. These conflicts have become battlegrounds for armed factions, external interventions, and proxy wars, resulting in unprecedented anarchic situations and long-lasting negative repercussions on global stability and economic development. The world cannot realize durable peace, security, and shared prosperity when emphasis is being put on what divides rather than what brings us together. We must therefore promote approaches that support positive competition for all. The perilous security landscape is further complicated by emerging threats stemming from human advancement. Cybersecurity threats and sophisticated cyber attacks on critical infrastructure pose significant risks to national security